Hi, welcome everybody. It's Mike Newton back in the swing studio here at Lytham Golf Academy. We've got a real interesting one for you here, and this is probably something that you would maybe expect to see, but I'm just going to test the 3 new irons from TaylorMade. I'm going to try and hold these without dropping them. It's probably a bit difficult to do, but we've got basically the new M1 iron. Okay, you've got the M2 that's been out a few months now, or a month or so. Okay, so this is the sort of aimed at the high handicapper, maximum forgiveness, ultimate distance. Then you've got the M1, as I've just shown you there, but M1 is sort of just being released, which is fitting into the M family. This is a little bit more compact in the head, slightly thinner top line, maybe not quite as powerful as M2, so maybe appealing to more a slightly better player. And then obviously then going to the sort of more classic looks here of the P770, which is a forged head, again neater, more compact, not quite as bulky at the back, and trying to deliver a little bit more consistent numbers, and maybe not all about distance, but we're trying to hit sort of consistent carry numbers. Okay, so I'm going to put these all head to head. I'm going to hit a couple of shots with each iron, and we'll just plot it on GC2 here and see what these distances are. I'm going to go through the lofts as well in a minute, because obviously the lofts are different. So we'll obviously highlight that, and obviously that's going to obviously see a difference of distance here. But we'll look at spin, we'll look at launch, and we'll look at total distance. Okay, and we'll see how these plot in, and maybe just highlight, or maybe just show what possibly which iron you would like to go out there and test yourself. What are you wanting out of an iron? Is it distance? Is it more control? Is it you know, trying to hit target more? Okay, so everybody wants something generally different out of iron. Most people we see through the fitting studio here generally want a few yards. I think we all do. I think anybody that says they don't want yards, I think they do really in the back of the mind, but a lot of people just say, I just want to hit the ball a little bit further. So it'd be interesting to see this. So the loft, these are all 7 irons. So the loft on the M2 7 iron is 28.5 degree. Okay, so it's quite strong. There is a reason why it's strong like that, because of the technology in the head actually launched the ball quite high, so they've had to strengthen the loft to try and get that launch down. Okay, you then got M1, which is 30.5 degrees, so 2 degrees weaker than M2. And then you've got the P770, which is 33 degrees. Okay, so there's a good 5 degrees difference between all these models. They're all 7 irons, but it's 5 degrees difference. So you can see how they're trying to aim for different players who want different things out of the golf clubs. Okay, I'm going to use a KBS tour shaft here, 1/2 inch longer, stiff. These are all a couple of degrees upright in the heads, so exactly the same. I'm going to use the same shaft, pop them all 3, hit a couple of shots with each one, and we'll have a look at some numbers at the end. Okay, so we're going to start off with the TaylorMade P770 iron. So this is the one that is generally suited to more sort of low sort of handicap golfer, maybe sort of high single figure golfer, working into a low handicap golfer. This is 33 degree loft, 7 iron. Okay, so I'll hit the first one here. So that first shot carried at 164 on the carry. Okay, we'll work on carry distance here. Okay, so I'll hit the second one. Again, nice strike there. Just a little bit pulley. Yeah, that carried at 171, so I've just gained a little bit more yardage there, probably because I've just pulled that slightly. Sorry, 169, so slightly, 5 yards more carry there, probably just on that pull shot. Okay, so I'm going to flick this over and hit a couple with the M1 iron now. Okay, so shaft switched into the M1 head. Okay, so this is the one that sits in between the P770 and the M2. So we've obviously seen a slightly more beefed up look here, but not quite as beefy as the M2. Plenty of weighting at the back here, plenty of forgiveness, but maybe not quite as much offset as the M2. So this is really sitting in between here. So maybe the sort of golfer that's sort of low teens, going into single figure golfer, who's maybe striving on a little bit of length, but also wants that more compact look. Okay, this is giving you sort of a bit of best of both worlds. So this loft is 30.5 degree. Yeah, I can see that straight away. It looks more powerful. Yeah, that blimey, right. That carried 179. Okay, so probably a good 10 yards difference there straight away. You could see that through the flight. It was a lot more out, looked a lot more powerful there. Okay, we'll hit the second one. Yeah, it just feels really easy to hit that. Yeah, 178 carry. So we're seeing a big difference there of distance. So yes, there's 2 degrees difference on the loft, but we've probably seen a little bit more length there, maybe a little bit of the tech in the head, the speed slots, etc. Just giving that a little bit more ball speed there. Okay, let's flick over into the M2 head and see maybe if we're getting that next sort of 10 yard gap that we're just seeing between the P770 and the M1. Okay, right, there we go. So, shaft it now into the M2 head. So this is TaylorMade's most forgiving iron they're offering. So ultimate forgiveness, ultimate distance. Okay, so this is what it's geared at. Obviously this loft has gone down a little bit, so 28.5 degree loft. Okay, as I said earlier, their backing of that strong loft is because of what they've got in the back of the head. So these supporting bars, the way they've got the weight positioned, basically gives the ball flight that is too high. So then they've had to realign their lofts as going stronger to try and get that launch back to a normal sort of position. And to be fair to them, okay, I'll probably get a lot of comments down below here for saying this, but to be fair to them, through fitting, I see that these launch very, very similar to, say, it'd be interesting to see on here actually, to similar to a more of a standard loft, or when I say standard, more maybe that P770, that's 33 degrees, 5 degrees difference there. I bet the launch angle isn't that different. Be interested to see, we'll have a look at it, and that's what I sometimes see through fittings. So, bit of defence there from TaylorMade, but you know, you make up your own decisions on that really. Yeah, good shot there, hit that really well. It's louder. First thing that stood out there, the noise of that was much louder. A bit more of a hollowy sort of sound, maybe because of the weight being pulled up. We've now got that sort of visible cavity behind, maybe just the sound of that. I know TaylorMade have done a bit of work with this G acoustics, the sound of that golf club, but having hit the P770, the M1, hitting the M2, that M2 sounds louder straight away, notice that. Okay, let's hit another one. Ooh, that was a bit of a poor swing there, I pulled that. Okay, I'm going to delete that, just purely because I pulled that, so that is going to go further. Okay, so it's not a real true comparison. So I'm going to delete that because I don't want to give you false hope because I pulled it, that has gone further, but that's purely because I pulled it. So I'm going to delete that, let me hit another one. I'm going to try and get this as fair as I possibly can. Okay, that's better. Straight to goal shot. Yeah, that's kind of around that 180 sort of mark. Okay, let's have a quick look at some numbers and just compare them. Okay, so here's the ball flights here. So you can see there's that M2 that I really pulled off target. So to keep this as fair as I possibly can, I'm going to delete that shot. That was the second one there. Okay, because I don't want to try and keep this as best as possible. Now, obviously, I appreciate I'm not going to hit target with every single one and strike it exactly the same with every single one of the shots here, but I'm just wanting to try and keep this as fair as possible. Okay, let's have a quick look at the sort of shots here. So there's the dispersion rings on the left-hand side. So you can see the blue one very, very tight there. I think that was the M1. The red one was obviously the P770, and then the yellow was the M2. Okay, so we'll just delve into some numbers in a little bit more detail. Okay, so we're looking at ball speeds first. Okay, so P770, M1, M2. So we can see average 123, 127, 129. That is what we would sort of expect because of the loft changes. You know, more loft, the ball simply just won't come off as quick. So you can see there's 123. As we go 2 degrees stronger, 127. Another 2 degrees stronger, 129. That's what we'd expect to see. Now, launch angles. Okay, this is what I was maybe just saying before. Now, you think from P770, 33 degree loft, to the M2, which is 5 degrees stronger at 28.5. Okay, neck end of 4, it's 4.5 degrees stronger. There's only 1.4 degree difference of launch. Now, you'd probably expect that to launch a lot lower, and that's where a lot of people say, well, the M2 goes further because it's a strong loft. It is a strong loft, but it doesn't launch massively low. You know, look at M1 and M2, they're launching identical there. Obviously, the P770 more of a traditional sort of loft, really, around 33, if you can call it traditional. So that is launched at a fraction high, but there isn't a huge difference there between that launch, considering it is nearly 5 degrees stronger. Really interesting there. Spin is obviously different, so you can see 7.3 with a 33 degree P770, 770, 6.6 and 6.7. So the M's are very, very similar, a bit more spin there. So if the player who's wanting that slightly higher launch, not too fussed about distance, but want a bit more spin, then obviously the P770 is a really good sort of option there. So looking at it in terms of distance, this is carry 167, 177 with the M1, 180 with the M2. Okay, so there's a big jump there between the game improvement irons to the more sort of traditional forged golf club there. Okay, but it's interesting there. You know, we went 2 degrees, we saw a big difference, but then from the M1 to the M2, we didn't see a massive jump. So I think what TaylorMade is sort of saying here is the M1, M2 are very, very similar on the irons. The M1 just comes in a slightly smaller package in terms of its looks. Technology is very similar, speed slots there, face slots are in there. Obviously the loft's a little bit different, which is where we're getting that little bit difference here. But it's a big jump from the more, what they call the player's iron. Okay, so there we have it. It's yeah, quite an interesting one, and probably a good comparison between the different models that TaylorMade do. Now, all these brands do these different models, all slightly different lofts, all trying to aim at different playability, and also maybe difference of what it's trying to actually do. You know, as you can clearly see there, if you want some distance, M2 all day long. Okay, if you're wanting something that's maybe powerful but a slightly more neat, compact look, then M1's a really good option. Okay, if you're looking for something that's a little bit more, not so much distance, but something that's possibly a little bit more consistent, slightly higher flight, better spin for hitting into real tight flags, which is generally what a better player will be looking for, then you're going to be into the P770. Okay, so you can see they're really trying to hit every sort of ability of golf and the needs of golfers, basically. So again, we can't do this without launch monitor. Okay, we can't do this really with sort of options on our fitting systems here, and this is with all brands, so it's not just TaylorMade. I've just pulled them out because, you know, they've made some what they call a very strong iron. But I'll probably going to get some comments down below here from what I just mentioned about that M2. You know, there's a lot of TaylorMade haters out there. You know, they said, oh, it's just purely a stronger loft, hits it further. I think there's a little bit more to that, and TaylorMade are saying that. For me, TaylorMade should have pushed that a little bit more to explain it, but they haven't done, maybe, so not everybody gets that. But I see that through fittings. This launch angle isn't low. If it's less loft, it's going to come out lower, surely, but it's not. So there's some tech in there that's keeping that launch up there, and it's been a phenomenal selling golf club for us anyway here at the Academy. Okay, comment down below. Try and keep it clean. Try and keep it pleasant if you can. Okay, hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe. I'll put a link up here, and hopefully I'll catch up with you very soon down here at the Golf Academy.